The Gita Mahotsav is a grand celebration that offers a unique opportunity for intellectual exploration and introspection. This exceptional event owes its existence to the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister Shri Manohar Lal, who himself practices the timeless teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in his personal and professional life. Through this festival, people from all walks of life come together to engage in discussions, debates, and other meaningful activities that help them gain a deeper understanding of Gita's profound wisdom and its relevance to contemporary life. Apart from all these dignitaries, I will be failing in my duties if I don't mention the contributions made by our Honorable Governor, Shri Bandaru Dattatreyaji, who happens to be the chairperson of the Kurukshetra Development Board also. His unwavering belief in our intellectual tradition and unwavering commitment to preserving our rich cultural heritage have been an immense driving force behind this event. Without his support, this event would not have been possible. It is my great honor, privilege, and pleasure to be amongst you on this occasion. India and Sri Lanka have a shared legacy of historical, cultural, religious, spiritual, and linguistic ties that is more than 2.5 millennium years old. Buddhism played an important role in connecting the two nations and civilizations from the time when the great Indian Emperor Ashoka sent his children Arhat Mahinda and Theri Sangamitta to spread the teachings of Lord Buddha at the request of King Devanam Piya Tis of Sri Lanka. Continuing with that tradition, International Gita Mahotsav is being organized in Sri Lanka this year for 4 days. Today, on the occasion of International Gita Discourse, many aspects of Gita will be unfolded by the scholars and saints gathered here. Eternal message of Gita was delivered by Lord Krishna before the commencement of epic battle of Mahabharata in Kurukshetra. In the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna revealed the Bhagavad Gita to help Arjun overcome his ignorance and gain knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. However, the Gita is not an external conversation, but an internal one. It is a conversation between our ordinary human personality, which is full of questions about the meaning of life, and our deepest self, which is divine. The magnificence of this unparalleled masterpiece of scripture cannot be fully conveyed through mere writing or speaking. Its true glory can only be experienced when the inspirational teachings of the Gita, which are meaningful for life, are put into practice in our daily lives. Gita is not a manual of philosophy, but of everyday human activity, a handbook of perennial philosophy unique in world history. The message of the Gita is for all and forever. It is not limited to a particular race, category, class, country, or a particular period of time. It is neither limited to solitary forest, caves, or mountains, nor is it meant only for those who have renounced the world. The Gita places human destiny entirely in human hands. It is not a book of commandments, but a book of choices. Its world is not deterministic, but neither is it an expression of blind chances. We shape ourselves and our world by what we believe and think and act on, whether for good or for ill. Lastly, I look forward to engaging, enriching, and illuminating conversation on the Gita by the dignitaries present here. I am hopeful that the discussions held during this seminar will have a lasting impact on the attendees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vikas sir. Before I go ahead, let me correct myself in calling the names of His Excellency. His Excellency Santosh Jha, the High Commissioner of India, is present amongst us. 3 cheers for him. Sir, Gita starts from Sanjay and ends with Santosh. So I may be, in fact, exonerated for the mistake which I made in calling your name. Thank you very much, sir. And may I now request, you see, yesterday I visited a bridge in L in Sri Lanka, which is a 9-arch bridge. And today we are here to build a 18-arch bridge. And that 18 arches are the 18 chapters of Gita, and this will bridge the bond between India and Sri Lanka. The guide was telling me that when the train was to first pass on this bridge, the engineer who made it, the name is Apuhami, he stood with his family underneath, showing people that the bridge is strong enough that train can pass and it will never break. He stood as a guarantee with his family under the bridge to prove it. And let me tell you, if you stand under the bridge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, your life will never be in danger and you will always lead a happy, satisfied life. May I now request Professor Asanka Tilakratne, a professor of Pali and Buddhist Studies, University of Colombo, and a Sahitya Awardee, Sahitya Academy Awardee. And sir, may I request you to please come on the dais and enlighten us with your words of wisdom.
Very good evening to everybody. Mr. Vidura Vikramanayaka, Honorable Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious Affairs and Culture of Government of Sri Lanka, Mr. Santosh Jha, the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, and religious dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I consider this to be an honor for me to have been invited to speak a few words at this August occasion. And particularly in this Gita Mahotsav, perhaps held in Sri Lanka for the first time. However, the Bhagavad Gita itself is not something, an unknown phenomenon in this country. With our education, particularly with the classical education in Sri Lanka, we are familiar with the Indian, particularly the Sanskrit sacred literature. So Bhagavad Gita has been very much part of that. So therefore, I would consider it a privilege to have been able to address you at this occasion. And I would like to begin with thanking for inviting me for this occasion. I would like to thank Professor Ankuran Datta, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Colombo, for inviting me, and also the organizers of this event. Now we know that Gita is the foundation of Indian culture from classical periods up to today. It's a sacred text, and from that perspective, it serves a religious purpose far exceeding its ethical and philosophical significance. Of course, people outside India, particularly the academic circles, Gita is being debated, Gita is being studied, and its ethical system and also its philosophical significance is being debated. It is same also in Sri Lanka. However, we know that, and particularly the guests visiting from India, we know that Gita is not merely a text of ethics or philosophy. It is much more than a religious text. Now, the focus of various activities within last 3 days, including today, is the multiple significance of this great text. Its cultural, its ethical and philosophical value. In a session held just this afternoon, the significance of the text in terms of the religions practiced in this country was examined, and found that the religions of the country are open to see and appreciate the ennobling features common to all, It is a very heartening thing to see that representatives of all major religions got together this afternoon today and found the universal message of Bhagavad Gita agreeable to their own religions. I thought that's really a significant gesture. Now, in this larger and concluding gathering, let me further reflect on the same line and try to articulate very briefly on the meaning and significance of celebrating Gita, which provides the inspiration for the great culture of India in the context of Sri Lanka, where religious and cultural multiplicity is a fact. Traditionally and historically, in Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka has been a Buddhist country. At the same time, the presence of other religious traditions too has been a fact since very early times. The support and the protection of the government is received by all religions. While there is the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam have their own government departments. What this state of affairs highlight is that Sri Lanka takes religion very seriously. At the same time, we have to admit that religion, for the most part, is a matter of heart, close to people's emotions than to their brain. Like anywhere else in the world, this is true for our country too. As an Indian author some time ago put it in the context of geopolitics of India and Sri Lanka,